All right, we are live. I need to figure out how to do that fancy thing like what Pale Rider does, where he shows the like another page, um, like a website or something. Like it'd be cool to do my intro, right? You need an intro, so let's see. We got. I don't know if this is going to go or not. It's been a interesting day in the world. There we go. Here's my video. In the world. And we've got 7 people in here. That's cool. Pale Rider, what's up? Don, how's it going? Let's flash you up here. What's up, Steve? I hope things are going great for you. Things are good, man. Things are good. I was supposed to take my pickup to the shop today, and Mother Nature had a different story because it was like 10 degrees and my heater doesn't work. So therefore, scraping everything off the vehicle would have been difficult, and I don't think anybody would have been at the shop anyways. They closed schools today, so we had that going on. Other than that, I worked on a few tax things and worked on a few safety things and worked on being a bum, pretty much. It's hard work being a bum. And, had some phone conversations today. And I've been texting back and forth with a couple of people, and I was given the notice that there's a video out there that a friend of mine sent me, and Prime isn't leasing trucks right now. You heard those words right. Prime is not leasing trucks right now because they don't have any. So first it was Schneider, now it's Prime. And I would imagine that the other mega carriers are going to fall in as well. So I want everybody's thoughts on this. SoCal did a video where he was talking about the big prices of some of those big Peterbilt 389s out there in the world. I'm seeing just ridiculous prices for equipment, and it's kind of got me worried because if I have to replace anything, I don't know if I'm willing to do that. I think I've said in the past that, I don't think I would be willing to replace the truck if I lost it. Now, here's the thing. So if my truck gets totaled for one reason or another, that will be one challenge. But if there's if I blew the engine or something major like that happens, then I'll just, we don't throw it away. We'll just get it rebuilt. And I want to read something that a friend of mine sent me, who will remain nameless, but it made a lot of sense, and he put it in the words better than I could. Let's see. Don't think some people realize the massive effect of this, because if the megas continue to not let the trucks they do have go into the market, then what equipment is out there goes higher and higher, and desperate or narrow-minded people will sign the dotted line, and then the house of cards comes crumbling down. And I do believe that is correct. If you can find a really good deal, then take it, right? But the odds of you finding a really good deal if you want to get in this game are very slim. And if the mega carriers aren't giving up trucks, and if they aren't trading these trucks in after 400, 500,000 miles, that means the used dealerships aren't going to get trucks in. I know that was a big issue with Peterbilt here in Springfield. A lot of the prime, I think like 2 years ago, or about a year and a half ago, they had the new 579s that Prime had turned a bunch in. Like they had like 10 of them on the lot. I went and looked at one for a friend of mine. I did some video of a couple of trucks out there, and they probably could have sold this friend the truck had the salesperson got back with them, right? Horrible, horrible service at that dealership. I've never had good service, to be honest with you, at any Peterbilt dealership. But anyways, that particular one especially. And now they hardly have anything because Prime's not turning those trucks in. Same thing with Freightliner. The Freightliners that you are seeing at the Freightliner dealership, they're older trucks. I mean, if you see an IWX truck and it's got the older headlight style, that's probably a 1,000,000-mile truck. Crete, IWX are some of the few companies that I know that don't trade their trucks in every 4 years. I have a friend of mine at one of those companies that is driving a 1,000,000-mile truck. And so this disposable aspect that we have of running our business, get a new truck every 4 years or 3 years. When the warranty's done, you're done. I think that's going to go by the wayside. I think you're going to have to start learning how to piece things together and be able to do some work yourself. So let's do some shout outs, shall we? We got Don Schonger, Pale Rider TV, who I've highlighted in the screen. We have Eddie Drotar. What's up, Steve? I hope things are going great for you. Let's do this the right way here. We got Scott, SRO Logistics. Nothing Witty is in the house. GNC Family Trucking. What's up? Nomadic Brit. Good to see you, my friend. We bought furniture, figured we'd get the carpets clean, which turned into us ripping out carpet and pad. Now we are installing new carpet. 5K turned into 12K. Everything is inflated. Yeah, I'm home repairs, car repairs, truck repairs. It's crazy. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. I got some tea going on in my Iron Maiden mug. Grafton, what's up? Let's see. I can't find injectors for my teardown in February. Wow. We got Something. What's up? Good evening, Steve. Thank you. Oh no, Mr. Bill. Good evening, and everyone. No ETA in the Freightliner inventory. I know a guy who's been down since October, November, for a 1-box. Clyde, what's up? Big Face Trucker, good to see you, my friend. So basically it goes back to something I've always said. What are the challenges that are we facing this year? Well, number one, the weather. The weather has been locking up a lot of places. You had that big fiasco in I-95. I think 80 has been shut down more than it's been open. You've already had several pileups. And a lot of states are adopting the whole, we're not putting the plows out there, we're just going to shut down the highway, kind of like what Pennsylvania likes to do. And so that's the first challenge. Second challenge is equipment. Now, we've been a circle of us have been giving this warning for the last 8 to 10 months. especially when new trucks weren't getting finished because of chips. I knew that that was going to be a problem. And it's like a domino effect. You know, you can't get new trucks, so you can't get rid of the used trucks. Then the used trucks start going out, and you can't. You know, now the parts are in demand, and now you can't get parts. Every time the demand shifts, you can't seem to take care of it. And that is it's going to be survival of the fittest. You know, at this point, that's about the main thing that's going to keep the rates up right now. I swear these animals. Um, because now here's the good news. Okay, it's not all doom and gloom. If your truck is in tip-top shape, you're in good shape, because the good thing about equipment prices being this high is that not every Tom and Harry can buy a $40,000 truck and get in the spot market. So because that tends to be what the cycle is. You know, you have a bunch of people that get in the spot market because there's a lot of money, and then next thing you know, there's more trucks than loads versus more loads than trucks, and our rates go down. Supply and demand. But if new people can't get into the game and everybody's struggling just to stay in the game, that's going to keep rates up for a little bit. Unfortunately, that might mean a lot of small businesses. You know, I noticed that quite a few restaurants around here, a couple of places were remodeling signs or were taking a break signs, which usually the first year is when you see the closures. SRO Scott says it's cheaper for me to put in a brand new engine versus buying a new one. Absolutely. That's what I would do. But as Scott has experienced, what if the truck gets totaled, no fault of your own? You know, an accident, someone plows the end of the trailer into the truck. You know, you have that to contend with as well. So pneumatic grid agrees. Yep. I was talking to the tech. He said he ordered an oil pump in July. It just arrived on Tuesday. That's the part that will be the challenge, right? I can't stress this enough. Keep your debt down. Keep your debt down. Should have bought a reefer trailer 6 months ago. Yeah, you could probably get 2 of them for the price of what you paid for one now. Greenslord snow. I'm guessing in the snow. You're guessing in the snow. Shannon, what's up? Good evening. It's a crazy world. So that's one of the challenges. Don't come to Kentucky unless you like multiple truck accidents and more car spinouts than you can count. Yes, John. I was watching the weather this morning, and sure enough, there was that system that hit us a little bit. It started up in Kansas City area and kind of went down southeast. So, and then it kind of went back up. So, looking at the radar, looking at the winter advisory and warning areas, it was pretty wide. We got the outer edge. We got about 2 or 3 inches here, but I was listening to Police Scanner this morning, and it was wrecks all over the place. I just took my youngest to work, and MoDOT was out and about on the main streets, but they're not perfect, right? So a lot of staffing issues, mandate issues, which I would be more surprised if they would just shut the interstate down versus trying to clean it off. So I periodically go on a website and value our 2 cars. We own a 17 and 19 car. The 3 vehicles, sales went up for each car. The dealership is always emailing me to upgrade. Yes. Now, unfortunately, there's no dealer that's offered me anything for my vehicles. because they're all old and crusty. Well, except for my wife's car. My wife's kind of a nice car. But it's crazy. I know people that are selling their vehicles to dealerships for more money than they paid for them brand new. That's how crazy this world is, right? Carlos says Tennessee sucked today. Yep. Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia. It's going all up northeast. So Pennsylvania, New York, and Ohio, that's all going to be a mess. Values. Okay, I get it. Yeah, so, I know DIY talked about insurance, like upping your insurance. Good evening, Steve. How are you? How are you, Mr. Thomas? I hope you're warm and good. But yeah, so I mean that's the challenge is equipment. So, and here's the other thing. So these idle loans, they're going to start asking for those payments now. So if you have not included a payment plan, whether you're going to use the full 30 years or try to do it in 5 or 10, you need to compensate for that. Your taxes are going to go up. I'm afraid to see what my taxes are going to be this year. I'm in New Jersey and getting loaded in the morning at 6 a.m. Philly, then heading to Tennessee. You've got a rough road ahead of you there, Mr. Britt. Toasty warm, headed to Lynette, Alabama in the morning. Those payments are very low considering. Look, I agree, Eddie, but here's the thing. I can go out and buy an RV, like a travel trailer, and justify going $50,000 in debt by saying, well, the payments are low. But debt is debt, whether you owe SBA, whether you owe Camping World, whether you own the bank, whether you own, the company you're leased on with, it's still debt. Debt is debt. Doesn't matter. Credit cards love for you to take 30 years to pay it off. Oh, you can charge $5,000 and your minimum payment might be, $80. They want that. And that's the trick. That's the trick. If I go out and spend $5,000 on something and my payments are, it's only $100 a month, I can handle that. That's nothing. I could sneeze in the right direction and make that kind of money, right? And so you're more liable to make that decision. You're more liable to go, you know what? We can't afford it. A good salesman is going to go, dude, it's only $100 a month, man. Come on, you can do that. That's why they make it easier for you to buy a new car versus a used car. Most used car loans are at 3 years, whereas new car loans are at 6 years, 5 or 6 years, or some of them are even 7. Now, if you're getting a big semi on a 7-year note, that 4th year is going to kill you. That 4th year is that's when your warranty is probably going to be up, depending on how hard you run. And you are going to that truck's going to start nickel and diming you. And you're losing your depreciation, which is why everybody trades their trucks in every 4 years. So I'll pray for you, Pneumatic Brit. There you go. True, but that camper didn't save your business. That's true, Eddie. That is true. And look, I took an idle loan. It was very low. I haven't used a penny of it. But it's kind of like the lottery, right? You hear people winning the lottery. If they didn't know how to manage their money, they're going to lose all that money, right? So if one took an idle loan and didn't manage that money correctly, it won't do them any good. And now you still have that debt on top of that. I look, I don't fault anybody for taking the idle loan. Not at all. Not at all. But debt is debt. Whether you take 30 years, and if it saves your business, great. But how many people know how many businesses have lasted 30 years? You have, of course, you have the Shiners and the J.B. Hunts, you know, a couple of those companies have been around for 100 years. But like your small mom and pop places, how many of them have lasted 30 years? You know? And so that's what I'm saying. You have to have a payment plan. If it rescued your business and you're doing well because of it, then paying it back should be no problem. But if it rescued your business and you're still barely making it now, that's when you're going to have a problem, because obviously you didn't solve the problems that created the problem in the first place. Mark is stuck on 75 in Mount Vernon, Kentucky. 75 closed all the way to Lexington. That's no good. Tell Mark I'm thinking about him. My credit union will write an 84-month auto loan. No way, Phil. That's funny. Hell, Steve, my motor coach was $1202 a month for 7 years. That's pretty high for lower income people, though, Mr. Wilson. Checking in, Rick. How's it going? I didn't take no money from anybody. Look, it's like I said, the idle loans, there's a delayed effect on those, because if you legitimately went out of business because COVID affected your business to the point that you couldn't do what you needed to do, then that's one thing. But I know places that took idle loans and then had trouble with their taxes and then went out of business. I know places that took idle loans and still went out of business because it wasn't enough to rescue them. All it did was allow them to float for a year and not be efficient. You know, and that's how you survive any market, whether it's good or bad. Is you keep your costs down, you run as efficiently as possible, and know your craft. Know your craft. And you know, so when everybody's freaking out, and here's an advantage that you can have. When the market drops, which is not looking like it's going to drop anytime soon, but it will. The ones who have the calmest outlook will be the ones that survive. If you're the kind of guy that's not going to move his truck for X amount of dollars per mile, that's going to be a huge blow to your ego. That's how I know, because I was that guy. Nevada Trucking and Trails, Happy New Year. Now you say it. It's what, 6 days into it? Oh, London, Kentucky is full, says Thomas Wilson. 1 year anniversary of the so-called resurrection. Does anyone care besides the liberals? No. 1 year since a bunch of people were lured into doing exactly what the Dems wanted them to do. Even if you keep the money, it's the cheapest money you can buy. That I agree with you, Clyde. I agree with you. But it's still debt. It's still debt. That's why I run cheap freight. What is cheap freight, Carlos? But anyways, when Prime says they have no trucks and Schneider says they have no trucks, Yeah, that's going to be a problem. So there's a trickle down effect that helps. I won't move my truck in this market for less than 2, unless it's the area of special circumstances. But if I'm leaving the house, wait for 4 or 5 a mile. Oh, Nevada, Nevada, Nevada. What are you going to do if you have no choice but to sit for a week or to move for $2 a mile? What are you going to do? SoCal called Prime today. They said they can put him in a truck in 2 weeks. I don't know. There was a few people that had called Prime and said exactly opposite. Cheap freight is anything less than what I'm willing to take. Cheap freight. Okay, I've already read that in this market. Well, I understand Nevada, but you know, let's see. Looks like we now have the Fluorona and the Ehu. Thoughts? I have no idea what you just said, Rick. My time on Facebook and Instagram and social media has been very, very low, even today when I haven't really done a whole lot. I'm waiting to see if Uncle Joe forgives the idle money. Tons of it will not be repaid, and to keep it from looking like it failed, just forgive it. Clyde, they're already forgiving some of it. I got an email saying, hey, you need to fill out these forms to see if you qualify so you don't have to pay some of it back. And I don't qualify because there's like 3 or 4 things that I don't qualify for that. So flu plus COVID equals fluronia. Look, I'm hearing a lot about people getting, the mild COVID. It's definitely more rampant, but it's definitely a lot more mild too. So we'll see. Eddie just got the PPP forgiveness. Awesome. See, I didn't get the triple P loan. Just left the house, $5 a mile to Kansas. Grab something to PA from there. 4+ rates are good. Don't care what people say. I'm making money with a huge margin for a drop in market rates. Good deal. Stack it, man. Stack it, Nevada. But here's what you got going for you, Nevada. You've got a new truck. You've got a wife that you team with. So you pretty much have an open book. You have a carrier that's very supportive and has floated that note for you. And obviously they have connections. They keep you busy, and you're making a good rate, and you're good. So it's more of an advance, Eddie. Not really a forgiveness, but it's more of an advance. Like, I don't know if it was for an additional amount or for the amount that you've already taken. I don't know. I didn't understand the lingo. All I know is that the qualification, I was halfway through filling out the paperwork thinking, hey, I might get a free 10 grand. But, there's so many stipulations that I didn't fall under. One of them is being in a poor neighborhood. And I'm not in a poor neighborhood. I'm in not the best neighborhood, but I'm not like East St. Louis or anything like that. That may be great in the short term for the people not having to pay back, but it ticks me off for my future grandkids' taxes having to pay that. That is true. Yep, Eddie, you're right. Market has gone up. I was looking at some of the numbers today, and it was crazy high. It's crazy high, and it kind of goes back to what I said in the beginning of the video. In a normal market, rates would start to drop because everybody and their mother would be getting a truck. But now that's making it harder and harder for new people to come in. And the people that have trucks aren't letting them go. So, yeah, and as more trucks drop off the market because they're broken, it's only going to add to our rates. So, Hi, Snow. Thoughts on NASCAR racer Brandon Brown, aka Let's Go Brandon, is losing sponsors left and right. Do you think that's fair? I have not been keeping up on that, but that's the power of social media doing that, and that's why I would not want to be a famous person. And so I think it's a case of bad luck that the media used his situation to brainwash everybody to say let's go Brandon instead of what they really mean to say. Right, nothing Woody, there's nothing for free. Always hello everyone, always learning. Been sitting all day in Tennessee. I stopped early, way too many wrecks. You should look for Pale Rider. I believe he's shut down in that area too. A lot of you guys are shut down because of snow, and I'm glad to see that. I believe last I looked, we might have one truck in the mix, but other than that, I think a lot of our guys have stayed out of it. I know I have. Between the cold temps and the snow in my normal running areas, I didn't move today. And listening to the police scanner this morning, I was glad I didn't. And I can't go out tomorrow because of something I got going on Monday. So, so if there's any situations and I jackknife the truck or the truck breaks down, my freezable product that I have usually is not going to sit well. Boston Marathon got $1,400 COVID relief. Well, that does surprise me. The Megas are buying smaller carriers. I think that's part of it's for the equipment. GNC, that's a good point. I was sent a text. See if I can find that. Yeah, Schneider just bought. They acquired Ohio-based truckload carrier Midwest Logistics System. MLS is a leading dedicated carrier with over 1,000 professional drivers operating 900 tractors across 30 central U.S. locations. Schneider has acquired 100% of the equity interest in the MLS. The carrier will run as an independent subsidiary of Schneider. MLS professional drivers and associates will continue to operate under the MLS name. But after like 2 years, they're probably going to have a sticker on the side of their truck that says Schneider. But yeah, I believe that might have been one of the companies that Chucky was referring to. There's talks about canceling the Super Bowl and Coachella out in California. How bad is this third wave? First class, I don't see them canceling the Super Bowl because there's too much money invested in it. The whatever city the Super Bowl's being hosted in, it's kind of like the Olympics. They got to make their money, right? Now, I can see a diminished crowd, maybe, only half the stadium, so they'll double charge for the tickets. Now, Coachella, that's a good possibility. A lot of music festivals have been trashed. But I believe that they're probably going to put some really strict rules in the Super Bowl because a lot of these cancellations and shutdowns and everything have been not through common sense. They've been very hypocritical. Midwest does mail. Yep, so steady work, right? Now I can see them moving it. Larry, what's up? I can see them moving it. I heard they're looking at Dallas as a backup to LA. Yeah, they're going to move it probably to a red state. So was Jackson Mound, but getting through Nashville at 9 a.m. was tough. I bet. Always learn. I bet. As the carriers become bigger, they will be able to dictate to shippers higher shipping rates. Thoughts? Let me read that again. As carriers become bigger, they will be able to dictate to shippers higher shipping rates. Thoughts? I don't think that's the case. Rates are dictated by supply and demand. Now, if everybody, let's use Nevada's rate as an example. If everybody's doing stuff for $5 a mile, and let's say I'm a shipper and I'm paying $5 a mile to get something moved, right? And it's mom and pop carriers that are failing miserably, and my stuff's late, and I'm paying out the yin yang for shipping. I have to reduce my costs, even if I've got my best friend with the truck doing the load. I can't pay those prices anymore. And so what that does is that gives the mega carriers the ability to come in and say, you know what, we have 100 trucks in your area that can take those loads at any time, and we'll do it for $3.50 a mile, because their profit margins are set up different. And so as a shipper, I'm going to be like, heck yeah, I'll do that. And so now is the time that you need to be, if you're a carrier that's looking for direct customers, now is the time to negotiate that, because everybody wants dedicated freight or contract freight when it's $1.80 a mile, but everybody wants to swing for the fences when the rates are as good as this. So it just depends on what your business needs. If you need consistency, then negotiate right now for it. If you have a brokerage, if you're a carrier with a brokerage, I highly recommend seeing what you can do out there. So Dr. Dre invested millions in the halftime show. Insurance will not cover COVID. He would be responsible. You think it will be? Yeah, I think it will be canceled. Who's to say? Who's to say? Super Bowl is just another game to me. I enjoy watching it. The halftime show, not so much. I'm going to do my impression of James Best. Hold on. All right, we're back. I haven't been impressed with a halftime show at the Super Bowl for ever. Yeah, Tom Petty did one. That was good. That was a long time ago. Steve, you know how I run. So when rates collapse, I'm 99% protected. It goes back to planning and relationships. Right. And a lot of people are throwing relationships out the window right now because they're trying to get all the money. And while that's admirable, to get as much as you can, for me, and if you can't get a direct customer, get a broker that has the direct customer, so you have the next best thing. So you have a little bit of flexibility, not under a contract, right? And that's exactly what Scott's done. And so when everybody was crying and wanting to go to the government and telling the government we need to put a cap on these rates and we need to have a set rate per mile and we want Big Daddy government to come in and rescue us, he was as calm, as cool as a cucumber, and he did not see that much reduction in rates. In fact, he made good money because the fuel was cheap at that time. And so Scott understands exactly what he's talking about. Hold on a second. Yes, you're live on YouTube. How can I help you? I don't have you on speaker, but I'm live on YouTube. Is there something you need, sir? Sure, yeah. I'll call you after I get off this. I won't be on very much longer. Sure. All right, bye. So, Thomas, that's been talked about many, many times. And if that happens, I'm not worried about that either. When is Metallica going to perform the halftime show? Long overdue, don't you think? Absolutely, beast mode. And it's not like they're now. Here's the negative part, right? So a lot of these performances are fake, right? There's like some famous pictures of Flea when Red Hot Chili Peppers were playing, and he wasn't even plugged in, right? So I don't know. I mean, they would literally have to really play, right? And I don't know how much they want to acquire for that. But there's been petitions to have Metallica play for a long time. So that's when I learned relationship is needed in trucking. Yes, Carlos, absolutely. So I'm having a great cup of coffee, Panera hazelnut with a little Irish cream. Excellent, Eddie. Excellent. I've never had Panera coffee. Beast mode. Sir OMG. What's that mean, Thomas? YouTube Outlaw IERD is in the house. Didn't get notification. That does surprise me, Jeff. It's going to happen now. Well, you know, just know the rules and know the laws, right? Yeah, it was El Jeffy. He's in the chat now. It was El Jefe. I almost said it, El Jeffy. Oh, yeah. YouTube doesn't like me, so I don't get the notifications. So I don't get the 100 people in my live chats. I think part of that's my content, but I'd rather just blame other things versus myself. That's what narcissists do, right? Lars ain't going to pay the NFL to play halftime. Well, you know, he wouldn't pay the publishing company that owns their music would pay. Putting the truck on tomorrow. Do you want to run the show tomorrow? Sure, let's do it. No Mac Brick got the notification, and I'll give you a call when we're done here, Jeff. When is Apnea opening for Metallica? Never. Number one, Apnea is not a band anymore, and number two, people that go see Metallica, they don't care about no opening band. Look, there's a band called The Sword. They're a very good band. I like all their music. And them and Corrosion of Conformity, they got to tour with Metallica. And with as many people they were exposed to, their sales don't match what it should have done, what those tours should have done, right? Because people are there to see Metallica. They don't want to see opening bands. You know, we had an opportunity to open up for Guar one time, and we were told we couldn't because they needed all the stage for all their props and everything. And a band called Dying Fetus, they did get to open because they were touring with them, and the people didn't even want them on the stage. We had a possible opportunity playing a show with Slayer. I know that sounds far-fetched, but it was like one of these festival deals. And it was a Jägermeister tour thing, and they were doing the Jägermeister tour, and they were allowing some local bands. And two of the guys in my band were like, absolutely not, because people are there to see Slayer. We're going to get booed off the stage and possibly, you know, violence towards us because people are there to see Slayer. They're not here to see, you know, more on me, you know. So in the hot seat, yeah, that's probably what it'll feel like. Pigtail, what's up? Hit the thumbs up. Thank you, Pneumatic Brit. Good night, Steve Earlyberg, Cashworm. Thomas Wilson, you have a good night. Be safe. Don't let those roads get you, dude. So, but anyways, I'm going to get off here. Just keep in mind that 2022 is going to prove interesting, and there are definitely some challenges, you know, and Thomas Wilson brought up another one, if that's correct. So keep a good eye on your equipment, keep a good eye on the roads, keep a good eye on the weather, and just know that the next year or so is going to be a challenge for everybody. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Hit the thumbs up if you don't mind, and and everybody, let's take care of each other. Okay, let's take care of us. All right, peace.